to say isn't meant to stop you returning home. As far as I care, you can go wherever you wish. But I want you to know how you have behaved towards me, and how I have treated you. I'll begin, as is right, with my father, Philip. When he found you, you were mere peasants, wearing hides, tending a few sheep on the mountain slopes, and you could barely defend them from your neighbors.
Oh, good day, everybody. Good day, everybody. I am your host for the most, Ultrastand Pheonix. Outside's a little bit chilly up here in the 6. It's getting cold, and in saying that, I hope everybody's doing well out there. I really do. And today we are going to be talking about, where is my notes here? What did I write down for today? We're going to be talking about the universe versus the universities. The universe versus the universities. Like I said, again, I am your host, Ultrastand Pheonix, and thank you for joining me on my blog, The Reality of Things, where the reality is hidden in the realm of the unseen. Press that like button, that subscribe button, and leave a comment if you wish you there. Let's dive into this like Greg Louganis. Like I said before, we're going to be talking about the universe versus university. Now, what do I mean by that? Malachi York, my mentor, Dr. York, said something in his long time ago, and he used to teach us, and he said, when you go to university, who teaches in the university? I'm going to say who, and he goes, the professor, because he professes to know. He doesn't actually know. That's why he's a professor, right? He's professing, just so he doesn't actually know. He teaches in the university, but you know nothing about the universe. Then you go, and then this professor who knows nothing about the universe, who's teaching in this university, tells you to go where? To the library, where the lies are being buried. You seeing this? That's all a little tongue lingo. And that's what you could do that with the English language, because the English language is a bastard language, right? So when they were making up, when they started why did they start basically these universities? Because they wanted to start it because the elite of the time were trying to gain access to the higher knowledge through mysticism. Okay, through mysticism, through mystics, through the mystics at the time, and sorry, hold on, yeah. They were trying to gain the knowledge of the mystics basically at that time, right? And so the mystics basically told the kings, the queens, and the nobles of Europe at the time, you guys basically lack knowledge. You guys needed a thing called like universities. And I say to you, and the main mystics at the time the main mystic at that time was, most people will know very well, would be Merlin the Magician, right? Merlin the Magician was otherwise known as Satan. A lot of people don't know that. He just came in, basically turned himself into friggin' Merlin the Magician, who you know as today, right? And the kings and queens of the Europe at that time, they needed to upgrade the knowledge of their people, right? To do this at that time, most people were basically serfs, working the land. Even most royalty at that time were basically illiterate, okay, people? They lacked knowledge. The knowledge of books was basically for septics, clergy, and mystics. Royalty never knew shit. That's why they always had advisors. These people that, tell me what's going on here, tell me what's going on here. They always had advisors. They never knew shit. It wasn't until later times they started to pick up and say, okay, with the help of obviously the bronze man, the Moors came and started to tell them, this is what you have to do. You guys can't be sleeping with your animals there. You can't be doing this. You can't be doing that. But at a higher note, even the royals at that time, they never used to take showers. If you went into a castle a long time ago in France, Europe, Germany, Austria, you wouldn't want to be around these royals. They just put perfume on themselves. They were atrocious. It wasn't until the bronze man and bronze woman started to teach them how to do these things, and hygienic and don't keep your animals in the house and get them out. The feces, the disease. But anyways, that's not the story. So, where was I? Yeah, so basically the higher knowledge was for septics, clergymen, mystics, people, people of the book at that time. You see, like basically people like 007, MI6, those are like your CIA for Britain and stuff like that. How they hold all the secrets for Britain. It's a university, like an enclave, they would call it. I'm trying to say to you. So it's the same with the Vatican. You go underneath the Vatican, it's all ancient books that you guys wouldn't believe the stories they had under. People used to write back then. They never had a computer, They never had a Microsoft to go. Let's go type in and say, "Hey Google." It doesn't work that way. So back then they would write down everything. Go further back, they would draw things on the walls. So today the scientists would go, "Oh, they were just freaking out. They never understood what was going on." No, they did, but they just had to express it in their way, right? So, royalty needed universities to upgrade the illiterate. Basically, they needed to upgrade the illiterate masses so the elite could leave this planet. Basically, I know it sounds crazy, right? But why would the elite want to leave this planet? Because the elite of this planet, people, are in jail here. When you see the black nobility, when you see these ancient secret societies, when you see the 13 secret families that run the world, when you see all these mass agencies controlling the planet, when you see things that are obviously malevolent and they're not benevolent, there's no law and order here. Why is this happening? It's been happening because the people that run this planet don't care about you. They're not actually what you would say humans. Excuse me. They're not. They're evil, demonic entities that have been put on this planet, and they've been cast here. Not even cast here. They've been here on this planet for a long period of time, and their time is up. They only had a certain time. Some of you people may call them in the religious world, it's Satan versus the devil and all stuff like that. No, these are just entities that have been here a long time and they've been warring. And they've been using you, people that don't know the knowledge, as pawns in this big, global, spiritual, soulful game. It's sort of a lot to absorb right now, out in one little setting, right? But that's what's going on, right? So these mass globalists, these world elite, these so-called 1%, this royalty, these presidents and these politicians, they are serving entities that want to leave this planet. But they had to upgrade the planet with all this technology. That's what you see here today. Now they got to mass critical point where, okay, now it's time to lock down and get as much souls as possible, or what they say, spirits. Why the universities? Universities are still and are basically, how can you put it? Universities are still placed in basically are a controlled environment for learning, a very small environment for learning. You can't think for yourself when you go to universities. You are told what to think. Okay. They're like, you can't think in a university because everything's robotic. Here's a book. Here's your essay you have to do, or whatever you have to do in university to pass to get your degree, your master's or bachelor's, and it's very rigid, right? So basically, they were trying to meet a so-called educated. Ever try to meet a so-called educated person with a master's or a doctorate or whatever? They're horrible. They're actually horrible. They think that they know it all, and they have this entitlement to themselves. All universities today, or at least 95% of them, are left-leaning liberals. CT, critical race theory, CRT. You're there for LGBT, transgender. They're all for that stuff. There's barely any conservative or people that you could be impartial or bipartial when it comes to these subjects. You have to be very, very woke for this stuff. Like, you know what I'm trying to say to you? So, walk with me while I keep on continuing about universities and what they are. They're really left-leaning places. That's why you see you could get the Black Lives Matter can get away with what they want to get away with today. Wreck the whole place, and the Democrats and the MSM mainstream media, they don't say nothing because they're all for it. It's it's a socialist communist type thing going on. Mask in this kind of democracy type foolishness, right? So they try to make you not see the wonders of the natural universe and made you see it through their so-called university, which is basically a natural disaster. Okay? You have nature and you have natural disasters. Anything that they don't like, they call it a natural disaster. Nothing that's natural, that's from nature, is a disaster. But to them, if it's a man and a woman making love, that's a disaster. Oh, that's not right no more. When's the last time you actually saw a man and a woman make love anymore on TV? It's always some guy kissing a guy, some weirdos doing some weird things. Seriously. If I'm lying, you can leave it in the comment. Right? Newbin was talking about it the other day on his broadcast about fornication. Yeah, he was right. He's dead on. Fornication is not about you having sex with somebody's wife or you having sex with somebody's husband. Fornication is when you go do the opposite, having sex with the same sex, having sex with animals, having sex with children. These little pedophilia people. That's what fornication is. Going to beyond the stream, not having sex with the opposite sex. So Nubin nailed that one again. Love you, brother. Shout out Nubin Makars, the Republic of Mentellect, and the Mesoamerican community. Bitch, I might ask us to get joined up in that, like, seriously. So universities are not a substitute for universal law, people. Universal law will always stand tall, stand straight, because it's always correct. It stands on itself. Okay? Sending your child to university these days, you're wasting your money, unless it's something that's worthy. They could take back to the community and build. You know what I'm trying to say to you? Like, we've already got enough economists and crooked lawyers and crooked doctors. You can see by the crooked doctors these days with what's going on with the health community and their advice. You already see it. Your Dr. Tams and your Dr. Fauci's, you already saw the disaster with this, right? So university, unless they're going there something to do something where they could get a job and not be in debt when they come out, then don't spend your 80 to 100,000, probably more, on foolishness. Make sure your kids mature enough to go. Make sure they're mature enough to stay on their own, and make sure they're mature enough to know when they're going out there not to hang with idiots. Okay? Universal law always stands on its own. What goes around comes around. You cannot deny it. Laws of the universe. Check it out, people. Laws of the universe. Okay? So, thank you for joining me on my broadcast today on the universe versus universities. Always go universal law first, people. Think before you do things, because that's what I like to do. I like to call my thinkers out there, because we like to lead the way. Muscle doesn't lead the way. Thinkers do. Sexy people don't lead the way, thinkers do. Rich people don't lead the way, thinkers do. Alright? Religious people don't lead the way, thinkers do. Alright? Love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. And stay tuned next week. 1.